and welcome to Dawn News English. For 20 minutes, I'm Nadia Naqi with you. Today, there has been a lot of reaction on the arrest of former Federal Minister for Information and, of course, Supreme Court former lawyer Fawad Chaudhry, who's also a very senior representative of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. He had been arrested early morning from his residence. And the charges against him are that ECP secretary, that is the Election Commission of Pakistan secretary, has filed a complaint. There has been an FIR registered against Fawad Chaudhry in the Islamabad Kohsar police station. Although the events that are shaping up, it's still a developing story. And let's see the reaction that has been coming from all sorts of, segments of society, whether it's civil society, political analysts, some of the politicians, as well as journalists who are basically condemning such an arrest. It is being regarded that as if it's a political arrest. However, we've also had, the present information minister, Maryam Aurangzeb. She just had a press briefing saying that this is not a political arrest at all. Had the government wanted to do any sort of political arrest, they would have done it long time back. But the statement that Fawad Chaudhry had made against the Election Commission and their family, that is a government official, and threatening the family, of course, incites violence and is susceptible to a legal recourse. We have with us for 20 minutes Shoaib Shaheen. You all know him. He is currently the president for Islamabad High Court Bar Association. Thank you so much for joining us. Initially, of course, I would like to ask, was such an arrest, does it have legal standing of making such an arrest, and that too on a complaint that has been filed by the Election Commission of Pakistan on the statements that Fawad Chaudhry had uttered?
One thing is very important. In the dark night, in the manner and in the mood when he was arrested, and in the way he was kind of kidnapped, it was unfair. It is violation of the fundamental rights. So the principles has already been laid down by Islamabad High Court in a case of Shiri Mazari case. You know it better.
Right.
The way they should have approached, they should have tried to arrest the accused. There are certain principles which have been violated. In a manner, in the middle of the night, he was kind of kidnapped, he was picked up, and thereafter he was that he has been arrested in the FIR which has been registered in the Kohsar place at Islamabad. So number one. Number two is that it is understood that the contents of even FIR that are violative to Article 19 of the Constitution, which clarifies that every citizen shall have the right to freedom of speech and expression, and there shall be freedom of the press subject to any reasonable restrictions imposed by law in the interest of the glory of Islam, or the integrity, security, or defense of Pakistan, or any part thereof, friendly relations with the foreign states, public order, decency, or morality, or in relation to the contempt of court, commission of, or incitement to an offence. I think the statement given by Mr. Fawad Chaudhry was not in violation of Article 19 actually, and not violation of any of the provisions of the law. So it is the freedom of speech, it is his fundamental right to speak in accordance with his wisdom, in accordance with the policy of the party. So he has been politically victimized. So here there is another aspect. The Election Commission of Pakistan has already issued a contempt notice to him, which is pending adjudication before this Lahore High Court, whether the Commission has the power to initiate or punish any person, whether the Election Commission of Pakistan has the authority and power of the contempt of court. So that is the subject matter which is pending. Now, at this stage, initiation of proceedings on the part of the Election Commission of Pakistan, they have made themselves as one of the party, and that that institution has not become an impartial, which is his mandatory requirement, that the constitutional forum should be impartial. They should not be involved in any kind of political victimization, all political siding with one political party.
Okay, so now because I was just waiting for you to finish off your opening remarks, Shoaib Shaheen. I wanted to know. Let's take it step by step. You said the manner that he has been arrested is wrong. However, the FIR that has been registered against Fawad Chaudhry, the sections that have been put in the FIR are 153A, that's promotion of enmity between groups, 506, that is criminal intimidation, 505, statement conducing to public mischief, 124A, sedition of the Pakistan Penal Code. So I wanted to know that all of these, that have been registered in the FIR, the sections that have been invoked, do they demand an arrest? And if yes, then what is the manner that the arrest should have taken place?
One thing is that the contents are the offences which have been made applicable in the FIR. Those are not attracted in any manner whatsoever. So
Okay.
the language or the contents of the FIR are something else, and the offence which have been made applicable, those are something else. So meaning thereby, they have tried to engage a person in a criminal case based on the political victimization. So one thing is very important. And the other thing is, if the FIR has been registered, you should have been informed that there is an FIR against you. So come on and appear before the court, before the police officials. So
All right.
he had a right. Two ways he has a right. Either to approach the Lahore High Court for transit bail, and then to approach the concerned trial court for seeking ad interim bail. And thereafter, he has every right to approach the police station. And the other way is that when they have approached the Lahore police was bound to give the notice to him that there is a warrant of arrest, which I don't think that they had. So they had to execute that warrant of arrest. Therefore, your arrest is required. And then he had again a right to approach the concerned forum or the concerned high court seeking a ad interim bail or transit bail, and thereafter appear before them. So in the middle of the night, no one knows that how he was, that FIR was registered, and thereafter in the manner when he was arrested, it is all violation of the fundamental rights of any citizen of Pakistan.
Okay, so yes, you've just mentioned how the fundamental rights have been denied during this arrest, and of course you're talking what the legal steps should have been in such an arrest. Now, when you say that the statement that Fawad Chaudhry had made, on which the ECP secretary has filed, has complained in the police station and gone for the FIR, I'd like to know. Can you make any sort of statements regarding any public officials and their family when this, the statement that Fawad Chaudhry makes, one of the section of society feels that this is violation? I'm talking about those public officials who are retired. They have been there on the social media since morning saying that nobody has a right to actually threaten any public official holding public office.
You see, the contents of the language, it was not a threatening. They have not said that we shall kill you. They have not said that you will be killed, or any political worker will kill you, or there should be some reasonableness, or a prudent man should consider it, that whether it is a threat or as a kind of warning, it is a kind of expression that you have become a party. So there is a slight difference. Someone is threatening someone, or someone is saying that you are a head of a constitutional forum. So you should avoid to be a party with one of the parties. So you should be independent. You should be impartial. So in a manner, when someone is speaking, so the mode, manner and the style when he is saying, it was not in the kind of the threatening. But if it is, then they should proceed in accordance with law, not over and above the law. The fundamental rights even of the accused cannot be violated. The accused has also a fundamental right. Fair trial, Article 4, Article 10A of the Constitution, Article 9, Article 14, the dignity of the man, that should also be honored in a manner. He is an advocate, Supreme Court. He was the former minister He is a respectable citizen of Pakistan. He is a political worker. So he should have been given a respect. He should be treated as a citizen of Pakistan. His fundamental rights should not. If he is accused, there are certain rights of an accused also under the Constitution. Those rights should have been protected.
All right, very well said. What about the person that, in this case, the ECP official? Do you think that ECP official should have not approached the police station or lodged an FIR against Fawad Chaudhry if he felt threatened or he felt that his family is threatened? Does he have the right to approach the police or not?
One thing is that Secretary ECP was not threatened. So he is not the complainant. He cannot say that when I was watching the television, I saw that Mr. Fawad Chaudhry has said so and so. It was pre-planned. The Election Commission of Pakistan was used, and Secretary Election Commission was used as a tool just to victimize a political rival in a sense that the PTM wanted to teach a lesson to one of the leader of the PTI, because now the things are going on and the new elections are coming, and they have.
That is one view that you have, Shoaib Shaheen Saab. But does the ECP secretary have the right to lodge FIR if he or feels that he himself and his family is threatened by a particular statement made?
I don't think he had. Number one, there is no statement against him. Number two, he cannot use the police to cover up his anything if he has committed some wrong. For example, if Election Commission has committed some wrong, it does not mean that he should use a police. There is every right to every citizen of Pakistan to comment or to criticize any forum. That is his fundamental right, but with dignity and respect. It does not mean that someone should abuse some other authority or public office holder. But similarly, the fundamental right of the citizen should not also be curtailed. If someone feels that there are certain mistakes being committed by the public office holder, he has every right to criticize. It does not mean that he should use the police, because the Election Commission of Pakistan has already issued a contempt notice. The matter is
usually the ECPs, in the present history, what I recall is that ECP always files a contempt and has never gone for actually lodging the FIR.
You are right, but here the situation is being worse. You see what happened with Shahbaz Gill. He was tortured in a naked position, and what happened with the Azam Sawati, how he was victimized. And similarly, you see the Arshad Sharif, how the 16 FIRs were registered against him against the same issue. 48 FIRs were registered against Azam Sawati against the same issue. You see, the violation of the fundamental rights are worse. For the last 8-9 months, we are seeing that the political victimization is at peak. The political parties are using the police for their personal benefits. Similarly, on 25th May, 500 lawyers were arrested. They were beaten. And on the intervention of the Supreme Court of Pakistan, they were subsequently released. There are footages. And many, not only the lawyers, but the citizens were arrested. Political workers were arrested. The house of Nasra Javed Iqbal was also searched in an illegal manner. There are many incidents we can quote.
Absolutely. And this has been in the history, whether it's this government or the previous one before, we've seen that when such arrests are made of high profiles, there have always been cars that come without any registration numbers, and they just probably enter the residence or wherever the person is and are taken away. Isn't this wrong?
I think we are repeating the same tactics. The police is repeating the same tactics, and it is unfortunate on the part of the political heads. They themselves say that we are the Democrats. So the democratic parties should be careful in this manner, that they can themselves be treated in the similar manner if subsequently any other party is elected or some other party is holding the office. So I think the IG of Punjab was also charged by the PTI that many workers were tortured at his hand. So again, Mohsen Naqvi, if he is being criticized, I think it is correct.
Okay, so Shoaib Shaheen Saab, because you understand this judicial system very well, do you see Fawad's bail happening anytime soon?
I think at 6 o'clock he has been directed to be produced before the court. I think he will be released because in the circumstances and the facts and the malafide is appearing on the face of it, because the court has directed them to produce before the court, but they have said that there is no contact with them and he is in Islamabad or sometime in Lahore. And you see how Mr. Farooq Habib was stopping the police and in the manner when he is being treated. I think the court can take the notice. The liberty and the fundamental rights, the honorable courts are the custodian of the fundamental rights of the citizens. If these fundamental rights are not protected by the courts, I think then the purpose of the establishing the court is then useless.
Okay, so Shoaib Shaheen Saab, do you draw any parallel between what Fawad said in his statement and what Imran Khan, the chief of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, had earlier made regarding the judicial magistrate?
Regarding I did not hear.
The female magistrate that he had earlier said, and even he was implicated in a contempt notice. Do you draw any parallel? Was it somewhat the same degree of statement made by Fawad too?
One thing I want to discuss, that the statement of Mr. Imran Khan was also not so threatening, because he said that we shall take a legal action against you. If he says that legal action shall be taken because it was in the crowd, so the style, probably the honorable court felt that it is a kind of threatening. So he went to the court and he apologized. So in the manner, that was also neither a contempt nor a criminal case should have been registered against him. So the language which used by Mr. Fawad is also not a contempt, neither a contempt, not a threatening. So the language itself speaks otherwise.
All right. So do you now suggest, Mr. Shoaib, with all the arrests that happened and everything put aside, would you want to, suggest to Fawad Chaudhry, or for that matter, other political parties and the politicians to carefully use their expression? Because any person can also feel threatened when you say it to the media or when you say it in the public domain, that just make note of that. And, we are noticing something of that sort, the kind of statement that Fawad also made, and whatever even Imran Khan had said. Do you think that they should be careful in their language? Or is it okay to use such an expression?
Ms. Nadia, all of us should be careful. Either we are a political worker, or we are the leaders of the political party, or we are the bar leaders, or, for example, we are the journalists, or any citizen of Pakistan. We must be careful. But it does not mean that the fundamental rights, if you have, that should be violated in this manner, that you should not criticize a public office holder. If it is a cowardness, if someone feels that there is a violation being made by any of the public office holder, whosoever the big may be, if he says something against the establishment, he is picked up. If someone says something against the ECP, a contempt notice is being issued, meaning thereby the person, the Article 19 is a kind of formality which has been, it is ceremonial only. It is not practicable. No one has a right to say anything in front of any mighty person. If a mighty person is criticized, then it is a wrong. If a poor man is dragged by the police or anyone else, so who will be responsible? If the innocent persons are being murdered, you see the judicial system of our country. What happened with Rao Anwar and his accomplices? They are freed, and admittedly that he was murdered by them. So he was also not involved in any kind of the criminal cases. So if he is freed, if Mr. Uzair Baloch is freed, in that eventuality, if someone criticizes any mighty person, he is a criminal. So we should be, it is no doubt we should be careful. But it does not mean
it does not mount to arrest, it does not mount to sedition, it does not mount to any sort of legal action, because such criticisms come in the domain of fundamental rights of a person, is what you say. Last 20 seconds, I just want to know, do you see a suo motu happening? Because Fawad Chaudhry's better half has appealed to the Chief Justice of Pakistan to take a suo motu notice of his arrest.
I think Honorable Supreme Court Chief Justice Umar Bandial also sees all these things. He is the very honorable and very competent judge. So I think because the matter is sub judice before the Lahore High Court, I think he will not take care of all this thing because the matter is under adjudication before one of the forum. So I don't think he will take suo motu notice. However, in such kind of the issues, if there is violation of the fundamental rights, Honorable Supreme Court should also take notice, but not in this case.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Shoaib Shaheen, President, Islamabad High Court Bar Association, was on 20 Minutes with us, says Fawad's bail is going to happen this evening. That's all for now. Take care and goodbye.